It is Monday, March 23rd, 2026. This is opening week Monday edition of Baseball Today. That is my man, Trevor Plouffe. I am Chris Rose, producer Dan along for the ride as well, as we have finally made it here. We got baseball coming your way in like 48-ish hours. Are you ready?
I am ready. Peeling back the curtain a little bit for people, Chris. I'm like getting my bearings on Major League Baseball again after the WBC. I was so locked in on that. The baseball was so freaking good. We were on such a high that I'm scouring the reports for storylines and who's made it, who didn't make it. And I think that's what we're going to get to a lot today. So that's going to help me out.
Yeah. Well, one storyline, I'm busting out the hats from the Grapefruit and the Cactus League, courtesy of my buddy Dave Eichinger. Shout out. Go get them. They look great. But that means I have to bend 30 new bills, which I am horrible at. And people kill me in the comments saying, Rose, how do you cover baseball for as many years as you have and still don't know how to bend it? So can you give me like the 30-second refresher course?
Number one, I'm at 7 and 8. So Dave, whatever you want.
Oh, you got a little peanut head,
Yeah,
huh?
I know people will say that, but it's a 7 1/4 or an eighth. Big brain, smaller head. It's my summer cuts of 7 and 8 though. I told you all you gotta do. First of all, I don't think they look that bad, but you just gotta take the inside here, take the
Okay,
the
my
pieces
goodness.
closer to the middle of the hat, and just that's it. Then you get the rounded. You're no. It's pinch it
What?
together. See how those go together?
Oh, like this?
There you go. Then you
Oh.
get the round. You're worried about the point in the middle.
Okay, round. Okay, hopefully that worked. Let me see. Better?
Oh, wow. Why can't you do that? What's wrong with you? It's so crooked now.
What did I do? Wait, but I did it exactly the way you said.
No, you're like going too crushy. It's like in. Go from the bottom. Oh
Too
gosh.
crushy.
Next time we hang out, I'm gonna help you.
God. All right. All right. There.
Oh,
Fine.
jeez.
I'll deal with it. Can we just get to the news? The only thing worse than the bending of my brim is what's going on in Atlanta. I feel like this is a weekly occurrence where I have to report another pitching injury. Braves new skipper Walt Weiss said Spencer Strider is going to start the year on the injured list. He's got an oblique. Let's remember the team's already without Spencer Schwellenbach and Hurston Waldrop probably for the first half of the year, if not longer. They had arm surgery, both of them. Joey Wentz, Tommy John, we'll see in 2027, hopefully. Full panic mode in Atlanta or not?
I keep going back to this. I mean, should you be panicking? Yes, but I don't know if it's full panic mode because did people ever get back on the train after last season where they were decimated by injuries? I mean, we got the Ha-Seong Kim news really early when he fell and hurt his hand on some ice out there. And then before the season even has started, we're already back here. And like, yeah, are we going to get like most of these guys back before the end of the year? Yes, we believe. So, like, is there a world where you say, hey, like, let's just tread water, then get these guys back? So maybe that, makes you not be in full panic mode. But if I'm a Braves fan, I don't know what to think right now. It's disheartening to start the season like this. When you mentioned Jerks and Profar just completely gone as well. So it sucks, man, because this is a very, very good roster that they've put together that should be competing and trying to take down the Dodgers in the National League, and they're operating at 60% strength. Like this should be one of the best rosters in all of baseball, and we're just not getting the full version of it.
Well,
So yeah, I mean, full panic mode. I don't know about that. I think it's more of like you're just really like sad, like a lot of sad boy vibes out there in Atlanta.
if if I'm a Braves fan, I'm pissed. I'm pissed to the nth degree, and I hate being one of those guys that looks back. I always try and be a problem solver. Like, how can we get better moving forward? Because we can't do anything about the past. But if you're Alex Anthopoulos, you're sitting there and you have tremendous GM remorse. You just do, and it's really borderline irresponsible what they did this offseason. Well, okay, so you give me frowny face, but hear me out. Virtually everybody in their starting rotation has some sort of health question, right? I think probably Chris Sale, hopefully we're past that, but he is 37 and listen, you live with whatever you live with him at his age because he's so damn good. Ronaldo Lopez missed basically the entire year because of shoulder surgery, right? Strider was coming back from Tommy John and has always seemingly had something going on with him. And then you get the two young guys in Schwellenbach and Waldrop who are now I get it, that stuff happened once the calendar flipped, and so how is Anthopoulos supposed to have a crystal ball and know that those two guys were going to be injured? No, he didn't. But there are enough guys, enough veterans in this rotation that have injury history to the point where it made sense to go out and get a guy who could have helped them, whether it's a Chris Bassett, and I know that he ended up going to Baltimore for 18.5 mil this year, but you could have gotten Zach Littell, who gives you innings, who is a guy you can depend on every 5 days, and only got, what, 7 million from Washington? Like, that would have made some sense here. Now, even if you go out and get a Lucas Giolito, it's going to take time for him to build up. And so it just, I don't, I never heard the thinking from him. What was have you heard anything from Anthopoulos about what the thought process was?
No, I mean, I don't know if like he didn't like the options out there or was believing that all this was going to be all right and we're just going to bank on a full bill of health, which is like
Oof.
you mentioned is kind of tough when you look at the past here. Lucas Giolito has to be built up to some degree right now. I should text him. I haven't done that and asked him like
Me
how many
neither.
pitches he's thrown. But you got to believe he's built up a decent amount. Is he going to be able to hop in a starting rotation right away? No. But that has to be the answer, right? Like at least him. And then there's other guys. I mean, there's like I was just looking at earlier. It's like Nestor Cortez is still out there. Like could he eat some innings for you? Like guys like that, they're going to have to go and sign guys to eat these innings until they get their guys back.
Well, they do have Martin Perez, who actually pitched very well in spring for them. It sounds like Jose Suarez, who has predominantly been a reliever. He has started, but he's made only, what, one start? Maybe he made one start last year. Sure, you could go with him.
Bryce
Carlos
Elder.
Carrasco was in camp. So they do have some options. But man, if you're a team and you've got money, they're a publicly traded company. We can see how much money, what their profit margin looks like. We know that. It's not like they've been cheap, the Atlanta Braves. They've made very shrewd deals, particularly with their everyday ball player, right? The Ronald Acuna deal that he's still in the middle of and has, what, 3 more years before he starts. I guess, what is that, when his team options run out after 3 more years? Whatever it is, they've got him on the most sweetheart everyday ball player deal around for his talent. Um, I don't know. It just feels like they were going, okay, as long as we're healthy, we'll be fine. And I don't think you can do that when you're trying to contend for a World Series crown.
We're seeing the best teams in baseball stockpile starting pitching
Hmm.
and go like 7, 8 guys deep, essentially. I
Yeah,
mean,
you
I'm
need to.
talking about the Dodgers. I think you can even put the Red Sox in that
Mhm.
category as well. They've really done that. Yankees are trying to do that. Thank you, Dan. They are also waiting on guys to get back healthy. But when guys are healthy, yes, I think you can include them in there. So yeah, I mean it's the way of the future, man.
Yeah, and now obviously there's a cost to it,
Hmm.
but the Braves haven't gone over the tax this year, I don't believe, right? There's their top 10 payroll. They haven't gone over the tax, and I think they're shortchanging their fans. I got to be honest with you. I think they kind of went through this and just said, well, as long as we can thread that needle, that's a bad way to live when you want to go win a World Series. We didn't even mention Sean Murphy. He, like Ha-Sung Kim, due back hopefully in May to help them out. I don't know, Braves fans. Let us know. Did we get the right read on this or not?
I, I I bought stock on the Braves after they started 0-7 last year, and I lost money on that stock.
Yes, you did.
Yeah,
Yes, you did. Well, do you still believe in them? Like, are they still a playoff team?
the NL is such a gauntlet right now, at
Yeah,
least
it
in my
is.
opinion. And I think that division's really good as well.
Mm-hmm.
I think the NL Central is like really improved too. So
I agree.
as of right now, no, I don't see him as a playoff.
Woo! Man, I still think that they're a playoff team, but
Really,
barely. But then again, I don't know if they're that much behind either the Phillies or Mets. And I haven't figured out who's going to win that division yet.
I mean, look, can they make the playoffs? Sure, but I have with this news and what we've seen already, I have them. I mean, it's only 6 teams make the playoffs, man.
That's
I
true.
can name 6 teams that are in much better positions than the Braves
Wow.
are.
Much better?
I think so.
Well, we know the Dodgers, so put them in their own category. You're gonna
Okay.
say the Cubs?
Mhm.
Are you gonna say the
The
Brewers?
Phillies, the Mets, the Brewers.
Wow. Giants?
I guess I would have included the Reds in there. The Hunter Green news kinda stinks,
Mhm.
but they're at least on par, if not a tick above in my brain right now.
Mm. Well, let us know where you have them, folks. Put it in the comments section for us. In the meantime, I want to tell you about the wave, the sunset on the horizon, that island in the middle. Sounds like a day at the beach, or for us, a day at the ballpark. Opening day just about here, and La Playa awaits. Get away, get ready for the first pitch. Take the day off, make opening day a vacation with Corona pregame show right before the John Boy Media live stream. That's on Thursday, March 26th. Warm up for the season with a taste of La Playa. Some of the best players in the game, they're diving in. You want to know what Jazz has been up to this offseason or what PCA thinks is going to happen on opening day? Hear from these players as they share their predictions, their rituals, who they think's ready to make waves this season. Yeah, baby, baseball's officially back. Kick off the day with the Corona pregame show that is on March 26th. Let the vacation vibes roll all day long. Corona, this is our playa. All right. Wearing a Phillies cap because they got some good news there in the National League East with their starting pitching. Second time in a couple of weeks, the Phils have extended one of their lefty starters. First, it was Jesus Luzardo. Now it's Cristopher Sanchez, one of baseball's best bargains when he signed an extension a few years ago for $22 million guaranteed. There were also a pair of team options worth a total of $29 million. Now his new deal takes him through 2032. He's going to pocket at least $107 million. Here is team president Dave Dombrowski.
We kind of assumed years 4 and 5 were no-brainer as far as we were going to pick those up. So we couldn't even imagine a scenario in which we wouldn't. So now we start talking beyond that. And we thought with somebody of Christopher's stature that he'll continue to pitch, that we'd rather get this done now while he's still at the age that makes sense for us.
All right, so I think we could give the Phillies a pat on the back because even Sanchez's representatives said they didn't need to do this. They already had him tied down with a contract. But does it make business sense for the Phillies to be doing this?
I mean, I think it does. They wanna have this window as long as possible, and they've signed a bunch of their core to extensions into the 2030s. And Sanchez, if they want to be a team, is obviously going to be a part of it. So I'm in on it, Chris. Yeah, they didn't. Did they have to do this? No, but I think they were looking towards those extra years at the back end. And like Dombrowski said, like they assumed they were going to pick up the options. So why
Mhm.
not go get 2 more years and just kind of fully guarantee everything? I mean, it's a little bit of a do right move by the Phillies, but also they're reaping the benefits of keeping him in that uniform as long as possible. And I think one of the reasons they wanted to do it, obviously the stats speak for themselves. He's become just one of the best pitchers in the National League. I think he was second last year in the Cy Young.
Mhm.
Um, there's not a lot of innings on his arm at the big league level. You know, he's only became a full time starter 3 years ago. He's been incredible since that has happened. His mechanics are very sound, in my opinion. Biomechanics experts reach out, but he looks like a guy that's going to be able to handle a workload. And again, I think there's something about developing your own players and keeping them in your uniform. But the Phillies, like at one point, you could have looked at this team and said, "Man, like their windows is closing." But they have a bunch of guys locked up for the foreseeable future.
Yeah.
But like I said, into the 2030s. So will they be a little bit older at that point? Sure, but we always talk about teams, having their stars in their uniforms and having fans be able to buy jerseys with the name on the back and root for the guys. Like I think it makes sense on the field because Sanchez is such a stud, but also keeping guys around, I think, is also good for business. So I like this move.
Yeah, at first I went, my God, they're going to be paying him $30 million a year at ages 34 and 35. That doesn't make sense. And I kind of had to slap myself in the face and say, Okay, we'll deal with that then. I mean, I don't know what the baseball economic climate is going to look like at that point, but that's somewhere down the road. For what he is right now, I mean, he was going to make $3 million this season, I think. Something like that. That's nuts. But as Dombrowski said, they were going to pick up his 2 option years in 29 and 30, and that was going to be for $14 and $15 million, and that's going to stay put. Then we get to $30 million in 2031 and 2032. And if you look ahead, the only guys that are going to be on the books at that point will be Harper, Trey Turner, and Jesus Luzardo. And Luzardo's going to be in his early 30s, and Harper and Turner, maybe that's a little bit of a problem, particularly for Trey Turner, because he's still going to have to be in the field, but he's such a good athlete. Maybe hopefully he can still play somewhat up to standard when you're talking about the financials. But you also have to remember how good Cristopher Sanchez has been. He's really turned into a stud. You mentioned he finished runner-up to Skeens in the Cy Young. I guess my point is that the only starting pitchers in baseball who had a better F-WAR than him since he signed his extension were Tarek Skubal and Logan Webb. And we consider those guys 2 of the best. We consider Skubal the best. So I'm good with it.
They didn't add money onto the front end, did they? They just added the years at the end and guaranteed the option years, correct? I think there's some incentives in there as well now.
Yeah, so he's guaranteed now 107 mil. So if I do the quick math, it's 60 mil with the 230s, right?
Yeah.
And then it's another 29,
and
so that's 89 million. So maybe he is still only making $3 million.
Yeah, so he's making 3 this year. He's making 6 next year and 9 in 2028. Yeah. So he's still like a massive bargain in these years. So you can look at 34, 35 and say 30 million, but like what they're saving now, I think equates into that.
Yeah. Okay, so my guess is Philly fan will still complain.
Would you have done the deal? I'm talking from the Phillies' perspective.
Yeah. So it gets me back to, like, why haven't the Braves done Ronald Acuna right?
Injury.
I guess so, huh?
Yeah.
He would have had a new deal if he hadn't gotten injured the first time, right?
I think so. I believe he's played over 119 games twice in his career.
Yeah.
That's why.
Well, pitchers, it's tricky. I mean, you know that at some point, every agent that you talk to says they bake it into the contract, and GM, by the way, that says they bake it into the contract that the pitcher is going to get injured. I know it sucks to hear, but they do that. I mean, you talk to the same people I do.
Yeah.
They all say the same thing, that when you give a long-term contract, I'm not talking about a 3-year extension, I'm talking about a 6-year extension like Sanchez just got, that they bake it in that at some point he's going to get injured. And it stinks, but that's how they have to think about it.
I know, but that's why I like, he just doesn't have a lot of mileage
that's
on the arm.
So once again, an answer. I think it shows great faith by Philly's ownership. And I know you like Middleton a lot, right?
I do.
I mean, they have to go to him to get approval. This isn't just a Dombrowski move. This is, you know what? I think he likes treating his players well. I think he loves being one of the places that players want to go. Not only are they going to get paid well, but they're going to be in contention every year.
And it's not unprecedented. We had some guys out there saying this is unprecedented and it's going to set a bad precedent. But we saw this with Sal Perez. We saw this with Jose Altuve. Like this is a good thing, people.
It's not going to set a precedent. I'm
know,
sorry. I know who made that comment.
You do. Say
all
his
you
name.
have to do is go to I know the NFL circles are way different because everything here is guaranteed. But everybody said when Deshaun Watson got his $230 million guaranteed, that's it. Every quarterback's going to get guaranteed. No, it's not what happened. So every situation is different. And you made a great point about him not having the miles on his arm. I thought that was fantastic. So I got to imagine Phillies fans are excited. Why wouldn't you be? Jeez, oh man. Good for that kid. I'm happy for him. And his kid, I guess is he Chris Jr., the little one that was on his lap? Adorable. That was great. This episode of Baseball Today, it's sponsored by T-Mobile. Baseball back this week. That means every single day, new storyline, new breakout, new debate that we can have. If we're going to talk about the biggest issues in the game, you got to be watching them unfold. And that's where T-Mobile comes in handy. by bringing back their best offer in baseball. T-Mobile, once again, offering its members free MLB.tv. That's $150 in savings. So whether it's late night West Coast finish, a midweek divisional matchup, a standout performance we're breaking down the next morning, having access to each and every game, it matters, people. With MLB.tv, you can stream your favorite team all season long without missing a single pitch, just like we do. We got stuff to do. We got places to go. We need it right here in the palm of our hands. There's actually still time to switch before the season starts as well. If you're not already a T-Mobile member, you can redeem the offer starting March 24th through the 30th at T-Mobile.com/MLB. Be smart like the rest of us and join the pate. All right, opening day rosters are being finalized. The number one prospect in baseball will remain in the minors, at least for the start of the year. That's Pirates shortstop Connor Griffin. He got reassigned. You'll remember we talked a lot about him at the beginning of spring training, got off to that blistering start. Then he really struggled. Strikeout numbers were very high as well. Now, Plouffe, do you think this is more of lack of experience or service time related?
Look, I know the numbers weren't good in spring training. I understand that. But I think this is still service time related, which is very interesting from the Pirates because they tried to do this with Paul Skeens as well, and it backfired because we have, I guess you can call them guardrails in place to stop things like this because they kept Paul Skeens down long enough to where he was going to have another year or not accrue a full year of service time. So they have another year of control. He ended up winning this Rookie of the Year, so he got a full year of service time.
And the Pirates did not get to benefit. It's the prospect promotion incentive, where if your prospect ends up winning something like that, then the team gets an additional pick, which ends up being like a late first-round pick. So it's very, very valuable, particularly for a franchise like the Pirates. Didn't mean to cut you off, but I wanted to explain that.
Yeah, they didn't get it because they didn't have up in time, correct?
Correct. You have to be on the opening day roster. And then I think April 9th this year is the date to circle where a guy can get a full year of service time. But the guy can get a full year of service time if he finishes first or second in Rookie of the Year, and the team cannot benefit if he's not up.
Yeah, I just really don't understand this one because it's not like they have someone at shortstop who they truly believe in. You can't talk about a small sample size like spring training and point to that. That's just not how teams operate. It's not how baseball operates. This guy should be on the roster. If they're serious about being trying to truly contend this year, it's going to be a very fine line for them at the end of the season if they're going to be in contention for a wild card. So 1 or 2 games is going to make a difference. This guy could help you early in the season. I just don't understand it. I don't know what they're doing, man. Like I understand he's young. I understand that he hasn't played a ton of games over high A, but if he's a guy that you think is going to be your shortstop for the majority of the year and you believe in his ability, like everyone does, you read the scouting report on him from Fangraphs. It was the craziest thing I've ever heard in my life, Chris. He should be on the opening day roster. I think this is clearly service time oriented, but I think it's probably going to backfire on them again.
It's also extension related. I really believe
I read that
right?
too.
We've heard there's been several reports out there that they're throwing a 9-figure extension at him and he's kind of balked at it. So, you don't know what to believe at this point, but if they could be dangling the carrot that you can make the opening day roster if you sign for this amount of money.
They can say that.
Well, they can say whatever they want. It doesn't, but it doesn't make sense. Like, what does it matter to him? Sure, it'd be fun to be an opening day shortstop at his age and be part of the renaissance in Pittsburgh. I get all of that. But the minute he gets his extension, then the service time issue becomes null and void.
Agreed.
That part, agreed. It's fact. It just goes out the window. That doesn't matter to him at that point anymore. So he's going to sit on, I think he holds the leverage. The Pirates already know they're living on borrowed time with the best pitcher in the sport. You can't do that with a guy who could change the complexion of your entire offense.
It's another reason why he should be up. Like you mentioned, you are on borrowed time with Paul Skeens, so you want every chance at the playoffs that you can get, and he gives you the best chance. Like there's just no doubt about it. I don't know what they're doing, man. Sometimes you just think you're like, what's going on?
So the only question I've got is you mentioned his lack of experience above A ball. He only has 98 at bats above that level. And you always say you need, what is it, 1,200 at bats or something?
At the
Is that
big
right?
league level, they say they know what kind of hitter you are after 1,500 at bats. That's
Okay.
not really pertinent in this discussion, in my opinion.
I don't think so either. But I want to ask you, as a player who came up, was a first round pick. I mean, you were not as, with all due respect, Connor Griffin's like at a different level than most guys who are ready to come up in the big leagues, right? We can agree on that.
Yes.
Okay. How hard is it once you struggle at the major league level to keep that confidence high?
I mean, it's difficult, but it doesn't matter. Like, if he goes out there and crushes AAA, it's not going to do anything more for his confidence. Like, he knows he's too good for the minor leagues. He knows he can hit in the minor leagues. It's the big leagues, and like, it's going to hurt no matter what when you struggle at the big leagues. Even if you have 200 at bats at AAA that you dominate, that doesn't help your confidence whatsoever. It's the big leagues and everything else. So I don't think it matters at all. Like, yeah, if he goes out there and struggles, it's gonna hurt, regardless if he has that experience at AAA or not.
So isn't it, whenever, if it's Connor Griffin or some other young guy, because it's going to happen several times this year where a team's top prospect makes his debut, right? And people will always say, well, the team wants to make sure that once he's here, that he stays here and doesn't go back down. Yeah, what do you think?
I think that everybody goes back down. Like, very few guys just stay up their entire careers. Everybody goes back down. Didn't A-Rod go back down?
Yeah, I think he did. Didn't Trout?
Yeah. I don't think
He
he
came
did.
up at the end of 2011.
And struggled at the end of 2011, but he was up.
I think he just struggled, and
Yeah,
then
he struggled. And
then
I
he
think
turned into Mike Trout. Yeah. Harper never did.
But everybody, dude, it's literally people that go up and down. It's fine. It's not like it's gonna kill everything about it. Like, it's not gonna kill his confidence, dude. And if it does, have him call me. I'll talk to him. I got sent down a million times.
You were riding that train. Well, the first time, though, it happened, were you like, God damn it?
No, I know the first time I was only up because JJ Hardy was hurt. I knew as
Oh.
soon as he came back, I was gone.
Got it. It wasn't performance related.
No.
It was not.
No.
You mentioned one other thing earlier in the show. For God's sakes, the Pirates have been dying for a guy whose name that they can stitch in the back of a fan's jersey instead of put it in Velcro. Like, yeah, they had it for Kutch for a while, but this one, if you sign a guy to an 8, 9, 10-year deal, I mean, imagine what that does for the psyche of a city. And you've made some nice plays in the offseason. You made some good trades. You've got some bona fide major leaguers in a lineup that can back a starting rotation that's got the best dude around and some really decent pitchers behind him. Let's go, Pirates.
No.
God dang it. I can't take this shit anymore with them. Man, oh man. Really? We're going to do this?
I don't know why they're doing it. Like, and also, like, drum up some excitement, like with your franchise. Like, that would get people to the ballpark.
There can't be. The only two reasons, right, to have gone to see a Pirates game over the last 2 years is every time Paul Skeens pitches, or you just love seeing the ballpark, which is beautiful. Those can't be your top two selling points the entire time. Well, Skeens, that's fine. But we have to have something else.
Bubba Chandler's going to be one of them, too.
I hope so.
And he's on the rotation, right? Like, I'm catching up everything. He's made the rotation. He's
pretty
in.
Sure. But let's go through a bunch of guys who did not make it. We're going to rank on a scale of 1 to 5 about how surprised these four things happened. Dylan Cruz sent down by the Nationals.
I'll say 3 because this was supposed to be the year that everyone just kind of like goes out there and they're trying new things in spring training. They want to see what they got, but I guess they've already kind of seen what they have with Dylan Cruz at the big league level. And I will say this, sometimes it's great for guys to go down to AAA because then the pressure is off. And if you're really trying to work on something like swing adjustments, it's nice to be able to go down and not worry about results whatsoever. And you can say, I'm just working on this today. So I'm a little surprised because it was supposed to be like the youth movement. He's part of that still. But then when you start to think about what it means for him, I'm okay with this one.
Well, I just don't know what this organization is doing exactly. I know that they've got a bunch of young guys that are in the minor leagues that they feel like they're going to grow up and, add to James Woods because he has officially become the face of this franchise. Like, we've already seen them get rid of Mackenzie Gore. CJ Abrams' name has been bandied about in trade talk, it feels like, for the last year. So I don't think, Gore's already gone to Texas. Abrams, I guess, has one foot out the door. It certainly feels like. But when this guy was drafted second behind Skeens, we're like, okay, well, they've got their guy that they can hang their hat on. And now, so for me, it's a little surprising. I would say a 4 based on the mentality and the idea that this guy was supposed to be the dude. I understand he really struggled this spring. What is he, 3 for 29? But he's such a good athlete. He can play some defense. I would think you would want to have him just struggle at the major league level, try and figure it out up here. But
Yeah, I think
I'll
if there's like
defer to
major
you.
swing adjustments and like they want him to try out, that it's okay to go do that at AAA. It just takes the pressure off of it.
All right. Also in the Beltway, Dean Kramer sent down by the Orioles, scale of 1 to 5. How surprised?
A 2. I know he's been in the rotation for a while, but they brought in a bunch of guys this offseason to kind of like, change their fortune there. And it seemed to me like it was going to be him or Eflin for the 5 spot. And I think they're just rewarding Eflin's, seniority here a little bit. He's going to be in the rotation at some point this year. So I think it's more so to keep him on a regular schedule to start the year. That's my understanding.
Yeah, listen, he's been an innings eater for them. He's been a perfectly average starting pitcher when he's out there. He's not a big strikeout guy, but he will give you innings. He's been dependable from that standpoint. We talked about at the beginning of this show how important that is for a franchise like the Atlanta Braves. But they went out and got a couple of Bs in Baz and Bassett in the offseason. And so the other B for Dean Kramer is bye-bye. You got to hit it.
Oh, that's 2
Don't you?
Bs. Look, he's part of the depth and like
Right.
so they know they're gonna need it. So I think it's just to keep him pitching on a regular schedule. Could they put him in the bullpen and let him do that and like, a start here, a start there? Yes, but I think this keeps him on that. It's best for the organization. I know Dean is not happy with it.
I'll grade it a 2 on that one.
Okay.
How about Hae-Sung Kim, shipped out by the Dodgers? Alex Freeland is going to be their starting second baseman while Tommy Edman continues to heal.
That was a 5. This is a really weird one to me, and Dave Roberts tried to shine some clarity on it, but Hae-Sung Kim had a really nice spring training, which, whatever. You don't take those numbers truly into consideration, but was up with a team all last year as well. I like him as a player. I would have gave him the shot to do it while Tommy Evans out, but apparently they said they liked Freeland's quality of at bats better in spring training. I don't really understand what's happening there. Like I
don't
tried
either.
to read up on this. Katie Wu had some stuff on it, but this is kind of a head scratcher to me.
Yeah, I mean, Kim's numbers in spring training, I hate to do this, but he hit higher than 400 and a 900 OPS. But they are talking about they want him to work on things in his swing. You just mentioned that like 2 minutes ago. They want him to improve. I don't know what that is. Maybe you know.
I think that he offers a lot. He's a well-rounded player. Offensively, could he get better? Yes. And if that's their idea, like, hey, like maybe, but like this will be his time to play at all because once Tommy Edman gets back, he's not going to play again. So it's interesting.
Doesn't make any
I
sense
don't
to
know.
me.
I'm trying to wrap my head around. This is one of those spring training storylines that I haven't really fully caught up on or haven't really been paying attention to all the ins and outs of Dodgers spring training. But this one caught me by surprise for sure.
Yeah, I would say a 5. I would agree with you there.
I had him as one of my breakout players in the NL West this year. I thought he was going to get more time. He's just kind of like a spark plug, man. I mean, like he provided value last year in very minimal time, with the Dodgers.
So second straight year, he's going to start the season in the minors.
Yeah.
See how that goes. Finally, Luis Heel, not in the Yankees starting rotation to start the year, 1 to 5. How shocked?
I'm going 1 because Dan explained it to me that they're just trying to keep him on schedule, right?
Yeah, they don't need a 5th starter because of their schedule until April 11th.
There you go.
So he's going to stay back for some extended spring training, throw 85 pitches, all that sort of stuff. But, Fried and I mean, we get the rotation. I suppose the one guy you're looking at is Weathers, whom they made the trade with the Marlins for. But or maybe that you could have piggybacked him early in the season and kept him up here. You're not going to throw him in the bullpen because that's not what he does. All 47 of his career big league appearances are as a starter. So I don't think this is any panic. I guess it's a 2 for me that he didn't beat somebody else out.
Hyesung Kim, 1-7 WAR in 71 games last year. He had a 699 OPS, hit 280. Like, he provides value when he's on the field. Extrapolate that over 140 games. You're talking about a 3-4 player.
You're stuck on that one.
It's just a weird thing.
It is weird. Very strange.
Trade him.
Oh, no, they're not going to trade him.
Send him to the Twins.
Not right now.
Who needs a second baseman?
If they need something in the middle of the year, then I'll circle back on that thought. All right, it's time right now for our weekly SoFi Spotlight of the week. We haven't done a show together since the conclusion of the World Baseball Classic, which you were front and center for down there in Miami. First of all, did you have the best time?
Such a good. I don't know about front and center, by the way, but
you were front and center of the row that you were in.
We had actually a really great setup. I had a great time. The games were electric. I've never been in a baseball atmosphere like that, and I have been to World Series before.
Yeah,
it was one of the best sporting events I've ever been to. So I don't mean to rub it in, but it was amazing.
That's great. I'm happy for you guys. You guys did a great job, and all of our content creators, whether it's in Houston or Miami, fantastic stuff. And look, the numbers prove it. I mean, when you're beating NBA Finals games, and how those numbers can be put together can always be manipulated a little bit depending on which side of the discussion. But the point is that a tournament, an exhibition tournament, if you will, in March is beating the crown jewel of another sport, or at least very much in the discussion, is awesome for baseball. Now it gets back to Team USA, and we just want to put a lid on it because Aaron Judge did talk about it this weekend. He actually admitted that friends and family of his kind of looked at the lack of swagger from Team USA and said, you guys don't have the passion of Venezuela or the Dominican Republic or Mexico. And Judge came out and said, hey, listen, I love those teams, but if they're going to say that we don't have passion, my passion is grinding in this cage when nobody's watching, grinding as a 6-year-old in the backyard with my dad. That's where our passion came from as kids. If I don't show it really like that, it doesn't mean I don't love the game. I can't really talk on somebody else's opinion about it. Everybody in that clubhouse, every single one of those guys, that's probably the most fun they've ever had playing the game the past 2 or 3 weeks, myself included. We had a lot of fun. We had some passion. You saw the emotion from the guys you usually don't see showing emotion. We had a blast. What do you make of that statement?
I'm fine with it. I mean, look, you're putting Team USA, who, by the way, if you just took that team and just looked at them, you're like, oh, these guys were hyped. If you put them next to like a Major League Baseball team and showed the way they were celebrating, you would say that's the most hyped team in Major League Baseball. Unfortunately for them, they were getting compared to the Dominican and Venezuela and Italy. Like, these teams were just going absolutely nuts. So I think it was just like they were next to teams that were just going bonkers. Like, that is not what happens in typical baseball, especially in the States. So like, I understand the sentiment. Like, they were having a good time, but they were just getting compared to teams that have insane passion. And I don't think you have to have that to win the tournament. Is it cool to watch? Is it fun to watch? Yes. Like, I enjoyed watching the Dominican play. I enjoyed watching like the Italians rally together around an espresso machine. Like, that's a lot of fun. Venezuelan fans, that's the loudest I've ever heard a sporting event was Venezuelan fans against Team Italy. It was crazy. So like, I do like that. I think it's great for baseball, but like, I put this out on social media, like, not every team is going to be like that. And I don't want them to force it at all. So like, I like what he said about like, I'm grinding in the cage at 6. That's a little, or grinding as a 6-year-old in the backyard with my dad. Like, love that. That was a little much. Cause I don't think you were grinding as a 6-year-old with your dad. So I hope you weren't.
Hopefully you were having fun.
I understand what he's saying. Like, I don't expect Team USA to act like that just because it's just not part of the culture here.
Yeah, and there might be some guys who could have added to that team dynamic a little bit more. I think some of the guys who probably could have fit in on a Dominican, like Pete Crow Armstrong, I think acts that way, but he sure as shit is not going to act that way as a 24-year-old when he's on a team with all these dudes, right? If he was 28 and had 7 or 8 seasons in the big leagues, it might be different.
They were jumping over the railings too,
They were.
dude. They
I know.
were. And you got to point the finger at yourself sometimes too. His family members talking about, oh, you guys didn't have the passion. The U.S. fans didn't have the passion, dude. We couldn't even start a USA chant. They tried multiple times in the building and it just didn't work, dude. Like, so like you got to look in the mirror a little bit too. Like you as a player draw from the crowd a ton. If the US crowd was the same as the Venezuelan crowd, I guarantee it would be a lot different. So like we're like pointing fingers at this team, but like we got to look in the mirror as well. It's just like it's not who we are.
There were people in the comments who did not like you pointing at the fans at all.
It's true. I was in the building, dude. We could not get a USA chant started.
Okay.
So like, and if you think, okay, find me someone that was a USA baseball fan that says they were the loudest in the building. I'll say you're a liar because you weren't.
Okay. Well, I don't have any problem. I would rather have guys just be themselves, be who you are. It doesn't matter to me. If you want to be, the only thing is that you can get labeled boring. And there's nothing wrong with that. Like, yes, comparatively speaking, Team USA was boring to watch compared to other teams. That's the way I saw it.
Because they lost. They lost. Like when Bryce Harper hit that homer and chucked the bat 50 feet in the air and walked down the third baseline, like that wasn't boring.
That was great.
Like if Aaron Judge hits a homer the next at bat and kind of goes around the bases and just does his thing, that's not boring. That's badass. But they lost.
I know, but for some reason, like I'll give you the Mexico game, for instance, which we jumped out to a 5-0 lead and held on. I think it was 5-3 was the final. For whatever reason, when I watched that game, I wasn't as energized as when I was watching another game involving Venezuela or the Dominican Republic. I'm just saying that my baseball mojo wasn't stirred the way that other countries did when I was watching them play. And it doesn't mean that I'm anti-American or I don't like our ball players. I can just tell you how I felt as a fan watching the games. That's all.
Yeah. I mean, I get it. I do think the fans are a part of it. I'm not pointing it. I'm pointing at myself too. Like I am an American baseball fan. So like, relax everybody.
Yeah. Did you like One Shining Moment?
You're the best. I don't even know what that is. Like, what is that from?
You don't know that? Oh, it's from, they play it at the conclusion of the Final Four every year. CBS is their rollout.
Oh, see, yeah, I'm not.
Yeah.
Like a college basketball thing?
Yes. Yeah. So, yeah. And that has been our weekly SoFi Spotlight of the Week. Now, listen, I know that you probably have been a little hesitant about investing in crypto. At one point, I was as well. The trading platforms always made it feel so complicated. Well, there's good news for you out there. SoFi is the first nationally chartered bank where you can buy, sell, and hold cryptocurrency all from one simple app. You can access over 25 cryptocurrencies all on one federally regulated platform with the safeguards of a bank. SoFi provides in-app guidance to help you learn as you go so you can invest smarter. And the best part of all this, it can be done in the same SoFi app as the rest of your finances. You got to love that. Now, crypto is inherently risky, and you need to make sure it's right for your financial situation. But if you're ready to explore crypto with SoFi, visit SoFi.com/JohnBoy to start your crypto journey. And as a special bonus, right now, SoFi is giving away $100,000 in Bitcoin each week through the end of March. Open an account today to claim your share. All right, one last thing. Congratulations to the Toronto Blue Jays. Their GM, Ross Atkins, gets an extension through 2031. Their manager, John Schneider, gets one through 2028. Plouffe, have the Jays reached consistent powerhouse status in the game of baseball?
I think I want to see this year as well to say consistent powerhouse status. I will say a few things that make it seem like it's trending that way. I think players are maybe in years past they would not want to go to Toronto because of like travel issues. I think that's like out the window now. I think it's actually become a destination where guys want to go play, and that's a testament to fans. And I guess those are Canadian fans, not American fans, right there. I think the atmosphere is really cool. I think Toronto's a cool city. So that helps because you're able to draw in free agents, which they were able to do this offseason, and like a Dylan Cease. So I'm in on that. They're really close, Chris. They're really close. I do want to see it for another year as far as like calling them a powerhouse in the sport of baseball. But I like their ownership. I like Atkins and I like Schneider at the helm. So yeah, I'm in on that. Again, I think my answer is let me see one more year of this.
Yeah, I think a year ago, we were all kind of in the same boat with this organization. We're like, how are they holding on to all these guys at the top? Like Shapiro, Atkins, and even Schneider getting like, doesn't make sense. Now, they have made the playoffs for the last 6 years, but I think last year they finally got a playoff win for the first time in a decade, if I'm not mistaken, or 9 years or whatever it was. But it had been a long time. It just feels like, though, they are trending way hot. Way hot. They're a top 5 payroll in baseball. We were asking the question at this time last year, why didn't you trade Vladdy? At least I was. Why didn't you trade Vladdy? You're not going to sign him. And here they go. They gave him $500 million, and so they got the face of the franchise. Now, I do think they're going to miss Bo Bichette. I don't think there's any question about that. But yeah, they feel like they're, and even guys that they lose, because they could lose Gossman after this year and Springer after this year. It just feels like they're going to be able to replace those guys instantly.
I still think, they're going to have to continue to spend and bring guys in. I don't think like this. You're not asking me like about the roster itself. I think you're asking more about the organization, right? Like, because the roster to me, like we're going to have to continue to fill holes. And are they a franchise that has done that and has tried to do that? Yeah. I mean, they've been in on a lot of different guys. I want to see Addison Barger take like the next step. I really, really believe in this guy. I think he can. But the on-base percentage has to be better. If you want to hit in the middle of that lineup and be part of a powerhouse team, we need like more consistent at-bats out of him, which I think we will get this year. But yeah, so let me see it again this year.
Yeah, I think this year it would solidify them as a top 5 organization in baseball. If they go and make another great, like if they win the AL East and if they don't repeat as AL champions, to me that doesn't diminish what they've done. We've talked about it. You put your team in the right position to succeed, that qualifies as an outstanding organization. And I think they've done that this year if they come to fruition on the field. All right, we can't wait. Baseball in a couple of days. We'll be making our MVP and Cy Young picks in the near future. We'll give you our postseason predictions as well, as far as which teams are making it, who's going to win it all. Plouffe, you can't rest on Atlanta over Houston in 6 games forever. Wasn't that your
I've been trying. I had the Dodgers winning it last year, so that's good for me.
That was very good for you. Me, I stink at this stuff. So whatever I say, take the exact opposite, and you'll be
the Mets or the Blue Jays winning it.
Actually, last year was the first time in 3 years I did not have the Blue Jays representing the AL World Series, and I think I had the Phillies winning it.
Okay,
didn't work out great for me.
I'm still cooking up my prediction.
That away. All right, for our one-of-a-kind producer, Dan Rourke, the uber-talented Trevor Plouffe, I am Chris Rose. We will see you Tuesday on Baseball Today.